Okay, if you're a parent of a teenager, you know the silence, right? The one-word answers, the closed doors. It can feel like you're trying to solve this impossible puzzle. But what if I told you the key isn't to talk more, but actually to talk less? Yeah, let's dive into this because honestly, getting a handle on this dynamic can change absolutely everything. So you gotta wonder, where's all this pressure even coming from? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is just the sheer number of choices they have to make about their future. I mean, think about it. It's not just doctor or lawyer anymore, not even close. Today, they could be a chocolatier, or maybe an ethical hacker. How about onology? That's winemaking, by the way, which is pretty cool. Or maybe they're into gemology, studying precious stones. Or even robotics. And listen, that is just the tiniest sample from a list that has hundreds of potential careers. It's a lot. For us, we look at that and we see this incredible world of opportunity. But for a teenager, that endless list can feel like this crushing weight. It's not some exciting menu of options for them. It feels more like a giant, impossible test with 1,000 questions and absolutely no right answer. And when you're faced with that kind of pressure, what do? A lot of the time, you just shut down. And this right here is the big takeaway. When your teen goes quiet, when they disappear into their room, it's not always them being defiant. So often, it's just overwhelm. They feel like the world is pulling them under. And that silence, that's just a symptom. So what's our natural instinct as parents when we see our kids struggling? We jump in, right? We want to fix it. We talk, we advise, we remind, we push. We do what we think is best. And this is what career counselor Monika Sundrani calls play mode. And this really gets to the heart of the matter. Let's be clear. Play mode isn't malicious. We're not trying to be annoying. It's our best intentions, kind of going sideways. It's this constant stream of words, all coming from a place of wanting to help, but it just ends up feeling like a nonstop lecture. Okay, let's paint a picture of a typical morning. I'm sure we've all been there. Your teen wakes up late, the play mode response kicks in immediately. See, this is what happens. I told you, I'm not your personal alarm clock. The lecture just keeps going through breakfast while they're trying to tie their shoes, all the way to the school gate. So by the time they finally get out of the car, do they feel supported? No way. They're just stressed out and emotionally all over the place. So if play mode is actually making things worse, what's the answer? Well, the solution is as simple as it is powerful. It's a total shift in your approach, from adding more pressure to just being present. It's what we're calling the power of the pause. And the difference here is, it's night and day. Play mode is all about filling every second with noise, instructions, corrections, reminders. But pause mode? That's about creating space. It's about being consciously present, actually listening. And this is huge. Allowing for silence. That's how you build real emotional safety. Now, it is absolutely critical to understand that pause does not mean neglect. It's not about ignoring the problem, not at all. It's an active, intentional choice you make to be present without adding pressure. It gives everyone's emotional system, yours and theirs, a second to just settle down before you even try to have a conversation. So what does this actually look like in practice? Let's rewind and replay that chaotic morning. Okay, the teen wakes up late again, but this time, instead of exploding, the parent takes a deep breath. They manage their own frustration first, big step, and instead of a lecture, they offer a calm, hey, let's get ready together. And then, later, when the rush is over and things are calm, that's when you have the real conversation. So, what made this morning so hard for you? See the difference? It's huge. And there's some really cool neuroscience behind why this works. Think of the adolescent brain like a massive construction site. The part that's in charge of planning and impulse control, the prefrontal cortex, is still under construction. But the emotional center, the amygdala, that thing's working overtime, firing on all cylinders. So when we hit them with play mode, we're basically just yelling at the construction crew and making everything more chaotic. Pause, on the other hand, gives their developing brain the quiet space it needs to actually come online and learn, instead of just reacting. And look, this isn't some small niche problem. The stakes here are incredibly high. Check this out. UNICEF-linked surveys in India found that a staggering 1 in 5 adolescents rarely feel calm or motivated. 1 in 5. Let that sink in. It just goes to show how much our teens are really struggling and why they need our support so much more than our direction. Okay, so we get the what and the why. Now for the how. Let's get practical.
how do we actually make that shift from defaulting to control to building a real connection? How do we put this pause thing into action? Well, it all starts with a simple but honestly profound shift in your mindset. Here's the challenge. The next time your teen comes to you with a problem, what if you just tried approaching it with curiosity instead of immediately jumping to judgment or trying to fix it?
These right here, these are the kinds of questions that open doors instead of slamming them shut. So instead of analyzing everything they did wrong, you just ask, how did that make you feel? Instead of dishing out advice, you shift into collaborator mode with, how can we tackle this together? See, this isn't about you being the fixer. It's about empowering them to figure things out for themselves.
And this is where the real long-term benefit kicks in. True responsibility, the kind that actually sticks, it doesn't come from just following a list of orders. It grows from the inside out, when a teen feels like you trust them enough to be a part of creating their own plans and solutions.
You know, when you boil it all down, this choice between play and pause, it's not just about surviving a tough morning or getting through a bad day. It's so much bigger than that. It's about the kind of relationship you're building for the long haul. And really, in the end, it all comes down to this one simple truth. 20 years from now, your kid is not going to remember the specific lecture you gave them about being on time. They just won't. But what they will remember, absolutely, is how they felt at home. Did they feel safe, understood, supported? They'll remember the feeling, not the words. Monika Sundrani really just nails it with this. She says our goal shouldn't be to manage our teens through this phase. It should be to understand them. And when we make that shift from just instructing to truly being present, we don't lose our authority. We gain something so much better, a connection that can last a lifetime. So the next time you feel that powerful parent instinct to jump in, to fix, to lecture, the next time you're tempted to just hit play, I want you to just ask yourself this one question. Can you choose pause instead?